What is up, tube users? I'm the Stereotypical Gamer, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. The Steam Summer Sale is still large in effect, and I wanted to go over another game that typically isn't under that $15 range, but for right now it is, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a game I started playing through pretty recently, but unfortunately I ran into some weird bugs in the game that just kind of forced me to stop, unfortunately, and I'll get into some of that in the bad section. But overall, I really do enjoy this game, even though the bugs prevent me from playing it any further. It's a absolutely gorgeous game. It has a ton of content, a ton of story, and it's just overall a fantastic game. And for under $15 right now, this game is an absolute steal for the price that it's at. And while yes, the gameplay and the storyline and stuff is really good, I think the biggest selling point and the thing that I enjoy most about this game is just the overall world design plus the just graphics of it, because I don't have that great of a graphic card, and this game runs so smooth while looking so phenomenal. I think this game probably has some of the best lighting without having to ray trace things in any game out there. And I think although I've had a lot of issues with like saves being corrupted and having to restart and try and come back, the story overall is just really intriguing, especially early on. I just love the environment that the story is taking place, where you're basically like primitive human beings living amongst these mechanical robots. And obviously there was some technology before this time, but we don't quite know. And you kind of learn throughout the story of this game what has happened to the old world, I guess, as it were. And I haven't gotten too far into the story, so I haven't really gotten to see what actually happens, but to get those little tidbits and kind of see things develop is really good, and this game does a phenomenal job of doing that. And typically I don't like the third-person kind of hack-and-slash melee combat that this game kind of bases the combat around, but overall I think the different equipments that you can have, the different abilities and stuff that you can do, really makes it unique and fun. And it's not typical that I would enjoy something like that, but I think all of that stuff combined, especially with what you are able to do with different equipments and what you're able to hold and stuff like that, is really fun and makes just trying to take out multiple enemies in an area really fun, to just try and figure out different ways to use all of your equipment to take them out. And while I don't think the tutorials for this game really kind of explain the different like crafting materials and the different scrap materials to sell, it was kind of confusing to figure out that different things early on, but once you get the hang of it, it actually is pretty basic overall. I just wish the game did a better job of explaining that stuff to you. And while I kind of feel overall this game is basic when it comes to like an open world RPG, which is kind of what this game is, I think it takes some really good aspects from other open world RPGs and combines it together to make this unique one that feels really fun and interesting to play. Like, I love that they have, like, the stealth mechanics where you can blend into your surroundings like Assassin's Creed. They did a really good job with the tracking system, how it kind of feels like Far Cry when you're tracking your enemies, but it's more in-depth. And just stuff like that just really makes this game feel polished, and it stands out in the open world RPG catalog just because it does these things that other games do, but in its own way, and makes it entertaining. And interestingly enough, I think this game has a really good balance in the challenge that it offers. I think I played through normal difficulty for this game just because I didn't really know a whole lot what I was getting into, and I just kind of wanted to play through it in the basic difficulty. But there is a good amount of challenge while also being fairly lax. Like, I feel like I'm being challenged, but I don't feel overwhelmed by anything, and it's just a really good blend of being challenging while also not being overwhelming, and I love that about this game. But this game isn't without its flaws, so let's go over some of the bad aspects of this game. Now, this is just from my personal experience, and I'm sure that this isn't something that was intended for the game, but for some reason, I keep getting save file errors in this game. I've had multiple corrupted saves happen, and I've never had that happen with any other game, and so it really does get annoying to come back to this game, not have any errors pop up while I'm playing the game, or even after playing it, but then launching it up again, I get a notification for the first time saying, oh, we've encountered an error with like the save. I forget what the error is exactly, but my save file is gone, and so I've had to start over a couple different times. Luckily, I didn't have to do that this time, so maybe it's fixed itself or something, but it was something that was really frustrating, and it happened a couple times in this playthrough where autosave would kick in after like a fight or something, and it would immediately go to the pause screen for whatever reason. Like, I wouldn't press pause or anything, but as soon as it would autosave, it would just pause me out of the game. So it was really weird. And then there was just a couple other things that were kind of like that didn't seem normal for the game, but seemed like it was something on my end. But I've never experienced this kind of thing with any other game, so I'm not exactly sure. Like right here, I just saw I got an error pop up and it just paused my game because it autosaves. So it was just a bunch of weird things like that I'm not exactly sure what I could do differently to fix those, and I've tried different things, so it's unfortunate that it had to be this way. And while I love the look and feel of the entire world, there are some times where, like, if you're near a wall or near, like, a raised building or something, you get stuck inside the environment, and it's happened to me a couple of different times, and it is super annoying because there's no way to really get yourself out of it, and fast traveling in this game costs like tokens or whatever it is. It's like a material that you have to farm, and early on you don't get it at all, so it's hard to justify fast traveling early on. And so when you get stuck like that and you can't do anything about it other than reload the last save you had, it really gets annoying, and the fact that it's happened more than once is just super frustrating. But other than that, I mean, this game is absolutely phenomenal. While I don't enjoy the combat, I think the story overall makes up for the bad combat in this game, and the questing and stuff is really fun. I really enjoyed looking into the stories and finding all the Easter eggs that kind of build out this world and flesh out what has happened to the old world, so to speak. And I really love how it's told in just these side quests and side stories, and you get an idea of how everything is happening. It's really well told. And honestly, it's a thing that I want to do more once I finish the game and once I've traveled throughout this entire world. But the photo mode in this game is something that I really want to dive into, just because of how amazingly stunning all the environments are that I've found in this game so far are. It's just probably one of the best lighting games that I have seen in recent memory. And I think the gorgeousness of the environments around me really helps me ignore the fact that the majority of fast traveling in this game is done on horseback, quote unquote. I mean, they're like mechanical horses or whatever, but I absolutely despise horseback riding in any game. And on mouse and keyboard, it is just so painful just to try and slightly maneuver left or right and stuff like that. And I absolutely hate it. No game has done horseback riding well, and it's just not a fun mechanic. But I think overall the just gorgeousness of everything helps me ignore that fact for at least a little bit. And honestly, this is such a great game, even at the base price, which is kind of crazy that the base price for this game is $50, because it is a full-fledged AAA title, which I normally think of as being $60 game, or in recent years, $70, which I still can't justify buying any game for $70, but I do think that this game is worth a $60 price tag. But the fact that baseline it's $50, that's even more worth it. And the fact that it's going for right now $12.49 is an absolute steal, and honestly a must-have if you enjoy the RPG games in general, and if your system can hold it. This is definitely a great game, story-wise, gameplay-wise, just everything-wise in general, and it should be in anyone's Steam library that is able to run this game properly. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Go check out Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam on sale now. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Risking its ass down here. Will you open the gate for me now?
You heard her! Open the gates! And send word to Captain Balon. Where you headed, girl?
West! To Meridian!
The Way of Broken Stones is a hard run, even in the best of times. You might want to have a word with Captain Balon. He came from Meridian not long ago. You find him in the fort, on a balcony to the left overlooking the valley.
Okay.
We're the ones who should be thanking you.